rewarding role. Now, we talked earlier about the Lok Sabha's power to remove the government through a no-confidence motion. But who actually runs the show within each house? Who keeps those sometimes chaotic debates in order?
That's where the presiding officers come in. Each house has its own set of leaders who maintain order and ensure the smooth functioning of the house. Think of them as the referees of these parliamentary matches, making sure everyone plays by the rules.
All right, got to have someone to keep things from getting too out of hand. So who are these key players?
In the Lok Sabha, you have the speaker and the deputy speaker. The speaker is elected by the Lok Sabha members themselves and holds a very powerful position.
I've heard the speaker's role is quite significant. What kind of powers are we talking about?
The speaker is the ultimate authority on all procedural matters within the Lok Sabha. They decide which bills get discussed, maintain decorum during debates, and even have the power to disqualify members under certain circumstances. Plus, they have the unique responsibility of certifying whether a bill is a money bill, and their word is final.
Wow, that's a lot of power. What about the deputy speaker? Do they just step in when the speaker's away?
That's part of it, but the deputy speaker is more than just a stand-in. They have their own responsibilities and play an active role in the smooth running of the House.
Okay, starting to see how this whole system works. What about the Rajya Sabha? Who keeps order in that house?
In the Rajya Sabha, the presiding officer is the chairman. And guess what? That role is filled by none other than the Vice President of India.
No way. The vice president is also the chairman of the Rajya Sabha. That's some serious multitasking.
It is. And just like in the Lok Sabha, the Rajya Sabha also has a deputy chairman, elected from amongst its members. They assist the chairman and preside over the House in their absence.
Okay, so I've got our two houses.
Yeah.
Each with their own presiding officers. But Parliament isn't in session 247, right? How does that work?
Good point. Parliamentary work is organized into sessions, typically 3 per year: the budget session, the monsoon session, and the winter session. Each session consists of multiple meetings, and it's the president who summons each house to meet.
So the president gets the ball rolling. What happens during these sessions? Is it just endless debates and discussions?
Not at all. There are structured procedures and tools that the parliament uses to conduct its business. These procedures ensure that discussions are organized, issues are addressed systematically, and decisions are made effectively.
Tools. This sounds interesting. Tell me more.
Well, one of the most crucial tools is question hour. This is the time when MPs get to directly question ministers on matters of public importance. It's a vital mechanism for accountability and transparency.
So this is where we see those fiery exchanges.
Yeah.
And grilling sessions that often make headlines.
Exactly. During question hour, MPs can ask 3 types of questions: starred, unstarred, and short notice. Starred questions require an oral answer from the minister, which opens the floor for supplementary questions. This can lead to some intense back and forth as MPs try to get to the bottom of an issue.
So it's a way to really hold the government's feet to the fire. What other tools are in this parliamentary toolbox?
There's zero hour, a unique feature of the Indian parliament. It takes place right after question hour and allows MPs to raise matters of urgent public importance without any prior notice. It's a chance to bring pressing issues to the forefront, even if they weren't on the planned agenda.
So it's like a wildcard entry for crucial matters.
Yeah.
That need immediate attention. It seems like these tools are all about making the parliament more responsive to the needs of the people.
That's exactly right. It's about ensuring that the parliament doesn't just function as a detached body, but actively engages with the issues that matter to the citizens.
This is fascinating. So we've covered question hour and 0 hour. What other mechanisms does the parliament use to keep things moving and get things done?
Well, beyond questions. The parliament utilizes a variety of motions to conduct its business. These motions are formal proposals that can be introduced by either the government or individual MPs. They're tools to initiate discussions, make decisions, or even express disapproval of certain policies or actions.
Okay, I'm starting to see how these motions are like the gears that keep the parliamentary machinery moving, ensuring things are addressed in a structured and systematic way. Can you give us a rundown of the different types of motions?
There are several types, each serving a specific purpose. One is the substantive motion, which is a self-contained proposal that addresses a significant matter. Think of it as a standalone resolution that MPs debate and vote upon. Then we have substitute motions, which are introduced to replace an existing motion with an alternative proposal.
So it's a way to say, we agree that something needs to be done, but we have a better idea.
Exactly. It's a way to introduce a different approach or perspective on an issue. Then there are subsidiary motions, which are linked to an original motion, but aim to modify it in some way. This includes amendments which seek to alter specific parts of a motion, and superseding motions, which try to postpone or delay the consideration of a motion.
Okay, so it's like a whole system of checks and balances
Yeah.
within the motion process itself. Each type serves a specific purpose in shaping the discussion and ultimately influencing the outcome.
That's a great way to put it. And these motions aren't just abstract concepts. They are tools that are actively used by MPs to shape debates, influence decisions, and ultimately ensure that the parliament functions effectively. Understanding these nuances is particularly important for those preparing for the UPSC, as questions on parliamentary procedures are a common feature in the exam.
Absolutely. It's not just about knowing what the parliament does,
Yeah.
but understanding how it does it.
Precisely. It's about getting a grasp of those intricate mechanisms that make the Indian parliament a dynamic and vibrant institution.
All right, so we've unpacked the individual structures of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Now let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
How do these two houses interact? Are they always in sync? Or do sparks fly sometimes?
Well, think of it like any dynamic duo. You've got Batman and Robin, peanut butter and jelly, the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. They work best together, but they definitely have their moments of disagreement.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Where do their powers align? And where do they differ?
When it comes to ordinary bills, like those dealing with everyday laws,
Yeah.
and even those hefty constitutional amendment bills, both houses have equal powers. They get to debate, propose changes, and ultimately vote on these crucial pieces of legislation. It's a true partnership.
So it's a level playing field when it comes to the bread and butter work of Parliament. But what about those financial matters we talked about earlier? Didn't we learn that the Lok Sabha has more say when it comes to money bills?
You've got a sharp memory. You're absolutely right. The Rajya Sabha's role is limited to recommendations. When it comes to money bills, ultimately, the Lok Sabha, being the directly elected house representing the people, gets the final say on those all-important matters of taxation and spending.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Power to the people, especially when it comes to their wallets. But surely the Rajya Sabha isn't completely powerless, right? There must be areas where their influence shines through.
Absolutely. Remember, the Rajya Sabha is the champion of states' rights,
Yeah.
the guardian of federalism. They have a few special powers tucked away that Lok Sabha doesn't.
Okay, I'm ready for these secret weapons. What are these special Rajya Sabha powers?
One of their trump cards is Article 249 of the Constitution. It gives them the power to, with a 2/3 majority vote, authorize Parliament to make laws on a subject that's normally under the exclusive jurisdiction of state legislatures.
So in certain situations, they can override that usual division of powers and allow the central government to step in on matters typically reserved for the states.
Exactly. It's a safeguard way to address those situations of national importance where a uniform law across the country is deemed necessary. Think of it as a way to cut through the red tape of federalism when the stakes are high.
That's a powerful tool. What's the other special power they have up their sleeves?
This one's all about bureaucracy, the backbone of any government. Under Article 312, the Rajya Sabha has the sole authority to initiate the creation of new All India services. These are the elite services like the IAS and IPS, the ones that play a crucial role in maintaining administrative unity and efficiency across the country.
Wow, so they have a say in shaping the very fabric of India's administration. These powers definitely give the Rajya Sabha some serious weight.
They do. But even with these unique powers, there's an ongoing debate about the Rajya Sabha's overall position and effectiveness compared to the Lok Sabha. It's a question that political scientists and constitutional experts have been grappling with for decades.
So it's not all smooth sailing between the two houses.
Yeah.
What are the arguments for and against the Rajya Sabha's current setup?
Those who critique the Rajya Sabha often point to the fact that it's indirectly elected. They argue that this makes it less representative of the people's will than the Lok Sabha, which is directly chosen by the citizens. They also point to its limited financial powers and its inability to directly bring down the government through a no-confidence motion.
So some see it as playing second fiddle to the Lok Sabha.
Yeah.
Less powerful, less in touch with the pulse of the nation.
That's one perspective. But those who defend the Rajya Sabha passionately argue that it brings something different to the table. They say it acts as a vital check on hasty or ill-conceived legislation that might emerge from the Lok Sabha, ensuring laws are thoroughly debated and scrutinized from multiple angles before they're enacted.
So it's not about being more powerful.
Yeah,
It's about being more deliberative,
yeah,
more cautious, perhaps.
precisely. Think of it as the voice of reason